one bad number does not necessarily constitute a trend, but we have seen a trend over the last year, and the overall level of job creation is markedly lower, and in terms of how many new jobs are getting created. It's basically treading water, but the last few months, it's actually getting underwater. Lonnie Golden, professor of economics and labor human resources, Penn State Abington. My first impression is, wow, that was kind of a shock. And the adjustments that were being made to the previous estimates as the data roll in is that the job market is really weak right now in terms of job creation. And the other impression is somehow this is not yet translating into the overall level of unemployment. In the last month, healthcare sector jobs went down. Our administration is saying that's because of strike activity. I don't think that necessarily squares with the data, but we do see some shrinkage in the number of jobs that are in the IT sector. Manufacturing's flat. There's been growth in social assistance jobs, like in counseling and social work. And that's a double-edged sword because that kind of reflects that there are job opportunities for some people in those areas, but what does that mean about what kind of work there is and what kind of consumer demand there is for counseling? Interestingly, behind the unemployment rate remaining more or less stable, we see there is an uptick in the number of people who've lost their job, but the unemployment rate's not going up because another reason that unemployment might go up is that people are leaving jobs and looking for jobs, and that is way down or offsetting that. The geopolitical situation, meaning wars, is creating a lot of instability, at least in day-to-day activities. We're not so sure yet what it's going to translate into the overall labor market, but it's fair to say that a lot of employers favor stability and predictability over instability and volatility, and it's possible that this will show up in the job market, intensifying some of the trends that have already been occurring, that employers might be reluctant to create new jobs, that people will be reluctant to join the labor force if they're out, or people are reluctant to leave their jobs if they do have a job. For the average person, the February employment report suggests that maybe you would hold on to your current job, and that's why job leavers are going down. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty about whether jobs will be maintained. On the plus side, some of the trends are showing, for instance, that over the last year there was a blip up in people that were holding multiple jobs in order to get by, and now that's back down to where it was last year. There's this really inexplicable volatility that we're seeing that we've never seen before. But what we are seeing as a trend is that wages are staying a little bit ahead of inflation. So as much as affordability is an issue, salaries are keeping up with it, and even hourly wages are almost keeping up or just keeping ahead of the overall inflation rate. So for the average person that has a job, that's not leaving, that feels a little less threatened about their job being eliminated in the near future, the average person is staying slightly above water. The overall health of the current economy has some positive signals. Our output growth is positive, not impressive, not above what it had been in the last few years, but we still have output growth. We are, as economists, we focus on underlying trends in productivity, which affect costs, and so productivity is up a little bit. So the overall health of the economy is not yet in recession levels or worrisome drops in productivity. So some of the instability we're seeing globally, regionally, in certain industries is not yet translated into higher net unemployment. So the overall economy, as much as it's being volatile, is not yet creating recessionary conditions. But it's more of a risk of a recession now than there was last year. And we are seeing this potential instability, which could translate into higher unemployment. It's already translating into frozen job growth or declining job growth, and the near future will determine if this gets translated into higher rates of unemployment. We are seeing that the people who are unemployed, for instance, are unemployed for a longer period of time than they used to be. So that's not a real positive indicator. But the overall health of the economy is not yet translating into higher unemployment. It's already translating into frozen job growth or declining job growth, and the near future will determine if this gets translated into higher rates of unemployment. We are seeing that the people who are unemployed, for instance, are unemployed for a longer period of time than they used to be. So that's not a real positive indicator. got to dig one layer beneath the surface to see that.